what's up, man? It is the Ace Michael Show. I'm Ace Michaels, happy to be here with you all the time, anytime. I'm pretty much happy to be anywhere after all this pandemic, then the war, then the COVID, then the Bitcoin people hitting you in your inbox all the time on the sly. You know, when somebody's hitting you on the sly, like they first start off, they're like, hey, how's it going? And you're like, I don't really know you. And then they get to, I happen to be a Bitcoin commander, and I was just wondering, oh, stop. Just stop right there. Stop it. Okay, anyway, that's me. So if you ever want to be on the show, maybe you are a Bitcoin commander and you want to speak your mind, you're welcome to come on the show. We'd love to have you. Coming on the show, in my opinion, is the best way to voice your opinions, speak your mind, get off your chest what your convictions are, your beliefs, your theories, your, who knows, your Bitcoinomics. Bring it. We'd love to have it. And all you have to do is just shoot the email to the address at the bottom of the screen and say, hey, I want to be on the show. Today on the show, we have someone who is in the realm of spirituality. You see that mist coming from my fingers? The realm of spirituality. I'm not talking about some Game of Thrones type of stuff. I'm talking about some real founded, rooted spirituality. Welcome to the show. My good friend and yours soon to be, Corinthia Gabrielle, is with us today. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
You are well. It's good to be well.
Yes.
Thank God for well. You got to be anymore. If you can just be well,
Right.
that's the beginning. Because it's tough out there.
It is.
Wow. So Corinthia.
Yes.
Corinthia, to me, that's a name that comes from biblical.
Absolutely.
So from Corinthians, book of the Bible, is where
Yes.
your name comes from.
Absolutely.
And do you have any idea why your folks felt like that would be, like, is there some significance? Like, is there a verse that applies to you?
Well, my name came from the Bible, of course, because my parents, we were born and raised in Macon, Georgia, and it's the Bible Belt, of course. So my parents were raised Christian and Southern Baptist, and they wanted me to have a name that was reflective of that. And it is, from the city of Corinth, which means a great deal of things, but we'll just keep going. But it's a very spiritual name that my parents got from the Bible because they felt that I was a representative of Corinthians.
Nice. Now, are you the only child, or is there a Corinthia and a Genesis and, you know what I mean?
No, I have two older brothers. I am the youngest.
Okay.
Yes.
And did they get biblical names?
They did not get biblical names.
That's interesting.
It is, isn't it? They absolutely did not. My older brother is a junior, and my middle brother actually got, his name is Antonio Cortez.
Interesting. So,
I don't know where they got that from.
Okay, so around the time that you were conceived,
Yes.
your folks were going through a phase. Or they were like,
Clearly.
you know what? One day we're going to heaven. Let's get this started now. So that's very cool. Now, having that name throughout your life, did that push you in a spiritual path? Like, do you feel like that name alone? Like, obviously, like if my name was Moses Johnson, then Moses, people are going to always be like, hey, Moses, like the guy from the Bible.
Right.
And they're going to have a certain expectation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whereas if my name was Diablo Johnson, they'd probably be like,
Right.
stay away from that dude because he's trouble. But you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So do you feel like that your name really had a influence on people throughout your life, or did it matter?
Absolutely. It was, it definitely pushed me into a direction of spirituality because, of course, it's a conversation starter. Like, where did that come from? Especially my middle name, it's Gabrielle. So, if you're tuned into the Bible, it is an archangel named Gabriel, so it's like, where did you get that name from? But my family are actually gifted in the arts of spirituality, so what do they call it? In the church, it's called the gift of prophecy. So it led me into that direction, and I just picked up on the energy of my ancestors and the spirituality that my family held within them and within our own bloodline. So I was the one that took on that type of energy.
It's very interesting because before we started the show, you were talking to me about, well, you weren't talking to me, but you mentioned that you're a Scorpio.
Yes.
And so there again, if you're into astrology or astronomy or just spirituality, that whole being a Scorpio, my sister's a Scorpio, by the way.
We're
and
awesome.
It tends to be, okay, yeah, you guys are awesome if you do say so yourself.
Yes.
But it also tends towards, those are people who like to explore life after death and some of the more cryptic things that some of the rest of us are a little bit like. I stays away from that kind of talk, mister.
Right.
But you do. You dive into that.
Yes, we dive in deep. You know, if you have a Scorpio in your life, they're going to change your life. They're going to take you to see your shadow self and to inspire you to greater heights. But you're definitely going to do some shadow work dealing with a Scorpio. Absolutely.
So let's talk about that, because I'm not one that really gets into like shadow stuff. Like I was telling my wife is watching Game of Thrones, like from the beginning all the way to the end. This seems to be Game of Thrones month. And you know, I'm not into like burn a candle, occult type of, you know, some oils that might put you to sleep or poison you. You never know. What made you gravitate towards that as a profession?
Well, okay. It's a long, interesting story, but we'll try to keep it short here. I actually was, again, raised in the church, and, you know, I love God. Like, I actually studied the Bible and spirituality and the gifts of the Spirit, you know, from the age of 11, you know, so it was just really something that intrigued me. And, you know, and I sing as well, so I started going to church and getting to, you know, more into the Bible and more into the church experience. And, you know, recently I was working in a church, and while I was there, I was learning a lot more about going deeper into live speaking in tongues and things like that. So because of all of the study that I was doing, it kind of triggered this awakening within myself that took me on an entirely different journey, you know. And in between that time, I had a friend that asked me, do you know anything about crystals? And then I said, okay, not really. So she kind of introduced me into crystals and things like that. And I got my crystals. So she introduced me into some crystals, and I'm pretty sure that triggered me even more into my awakening. And then from there, everything just changed. Everything just flipped night and day.
Okay, now just hold on a dang minute here, okay? Now, just 1 second, because I'm an American, okay? And these colors don't run, by the way. I just want to say that right up front.
Okay.
Now, let's say that I am the biggest naysayer that ever naysayed any naysaying. These crystals things.
Yes.
Aren't they just rocks?
No.
Come on. You just got some rocks, right?
No. These crystals are magical. Okay, so crystals have their own vibration. And because they have their own vibration, they tune into our body, our organs, because our body and our organs within us have its own vibration. So certain crystals resonate with different parts of our body. So like I have blue kyanite here, and because we're having a speaking moment.
School me on some stuff. This is called blue kyanite?
Blue kyanite. Yes.
Which I could just call myself blue kyanite if I wanted to. Like anybody could. You could have made up that name. Like, what is blue kyanite? Like, seriously? Blue kyanite, sister? Really? Okay. Blue kyanite. That's what we calling it? Blue kyanite. Okay. I'm with that.
Yes.
Blue kyanite from the planet of Blue Kyanitron.
No, actually.
Where Superman was from.
No, it actually grows in Georgia. It is mined in
this.
Georgia.
Grows
Yeah.
in Georgia. Hold
yes.
on a second. It says made in China.
Not that one.
So this, hey, if you guys are watching, this is real blue. She killed Ace Michaels. She killed Ace Michaels. And some people are actually happy about that right now.
No.
So blue kyanite.
Yes.
Tell me about blue kyanite. I kind of like blue kyanite. It looks like planet Earth, actually.
Okay, so blue kyanite, it works with your
I-
throat chakra. So since we're having this interview utilizing our voice, you know, and our vocals, I felt that it was beneficial to have this here to aid me and assist me with my communication skills today.
So, Corinthia, you didn't have faith in me enough to show up here without your blue kyanite? You're like, hey, wait a minute, I need to bring some. I'm trying to see her getting dressed, not in that way, but getting dressed in the morning. This morning, she's like, what am I doing today? Okay, I got Ace Michaels at noon. Let me grab some blue kyanite for this food. You know what I'm saying?
How it's gonna go.
I don't want to be captured in his studio without some blue kyanite. She's talking to her girlfriend on the way over. She's like, yeah, I'm on my way over there right now. Girl, did you bring the blue kyanite? Oh, shoot, girl, let me turn around. I'm going to be late, but I got to go get that blue kyanite real quick. Wow. So anyway, okay, so enough of my just fooling around. So this is a very interesting, this is a crystal, or this is
a crystal.
This is, okay. And so this is a piece of a bigger piece of blue kyanite.
Absolutely.
Right? You can't cook with it, can you?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
You really don't want to get that wet because it has selenite in there, which is the clear portion of that. So you don't even want to get that wet.
Dog, this is a stone that just came with a disclaimer. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all witnessed that. I'm making sure this is edutainment you guys are getting. She told me about this stone in my hand with a caveat. By the way, you don't want to get it wet. Whatever you do. You think you strong, don't get it wet, dog.
It's like the Gremlins.
Wow. So, okay. All right. So I like that one.
Yes.
That one we keep. Now, you brought another stone.
I did. I have,
What's this one called?
this is citrine. This was actually mined from the Congo. Yes.
Really?
So this, there's rainbows
Citrine
and things in there.
sounds like a hot girl's name. Like my friend Citrine. Anyway,
Citrine.
she's hot. Don't worry about her. She likes to be left alone, and don't feed her after midnight.
Right.
So this one comes from the Congo, the
Yes.
actual African Congo
Absolutely.
jungle?
Yes. Most of the minerals
Can
that
I
we
touch it?
use, it's okay. You can
Do
touch
I
it.
dare?
It's fine. Yeah. Most of our minerals are actually mined in Africa, and they're utilized here in a variety of things: watches, cell phones, computers, all of that. But this one works with your solar plexus, which helps, with with your confidence and manifestation and things like that.
This looks like the one that Superman's daddy left him. Like, I don't know if I do pop culture. You guys gotta understand about me. I don't know nothing about no science, no math, no biology. I know pop culture. You tell me it's in the Flash movie or Batman versus Superman, I know exactly what you're talking about. Amen. I'm on board. The rest of that stuff, I gotta do pop culture. So so this was mined. Now, what do you do to make this be helpful for your solar plexus? Like, do you rub it on you? Do you how does it become helpful?
Well, it vibrates on the same frequency as our solar plexus chakra and the organs within that area, right? So it amplifies and heals whatever we have going on. So when we want to expand, we pick a crystal based on that area,
Let me see that thing.
Yeah. So you can,
I need that right about now.
Yeah. Well, you want to keep it close to that, so dealing with the chakras.
I want this landlord out of my life. I want him out of my life. No, I shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't even
Use it as a
with that. I don't
wand.
even know how powerful this is. I don't want to wish
powerful.
no ill on my landlord. I love
No.
my landlord. Okay. So, wow.
No harm.
Okay. So, baby Corinthia,
Yes.
when does she get interested in this?
Around 2014.
Okay. And so at that, you look very young. So at 2014, you're still probably 14 years old. Like,
No,
what's really going on?
2014, I was 34
You're
years
in your
old.
30s in 2014?
Yes, I was
Wow.
30s. I am 41 right now.
Crystals don't crack, y'all. That's it.
Listen.
I'll take a crystal just for that magic power. Just keep me looking young. I'm fine with that.
I'm telling you,
Wow.
this energy actually does keep you young. When you channel
It
high
seems
vibrational
like it.
energy, and source energy that's around you, it definitely keeps you young because it's a pure energy and it removes anything negative that's around you, which is usually what ages us, is weighted energy that's on us, troubles in our life or troubling thoughts and things like that. They weigh in our aura. So they actually do age us because they make us sick on the inside, which manifests.
I agree with what you're saying. Like, I agree. What you just said right there is like the best thing that's been said to me all week. That's exactly what you have, is you have positive energy. You wake up, you get ready to go out and start your day, and then you meet a few people during your day that can change the whole course of your day with their negativity.
Absolutely.
You can spend your whole day pondering, like, well, what did he mean take out the trash?
Right.
Why I got to take out the trash? Why did he direct that at me? And you spend your whole day manifesting all of this energy that, had it been positive, you probably would have got more stuff done that day.
Absolutely.
Right? So I totally agree with that. Now, being that you are... I don't know you well, but I would say you've got good energy.
I would say
called
so.
you here because you got... you're a great looking lady. It doesn't
Thank
hurt
you.
my rating. I'm sure people right now are like, stop swiping. What's this? Oh, it's Ace. But who is that with him? right? So, I mean, but no, you definitely have a good energy. Now, my question is, because we are surrounded by other types of people all the
Absolutely.
time, has that ever been a problem for you? Have you been so optimistic and good natured that you run into a problem with people that they're like, you know?
Absolutely. So, going through my awakening and experience, new thoughts and new ideas around me and getting rid of that old paradigm, we don't realize, how much we affect each other. We're all sitting around here and a part of the collective. And so my bad attitude will connect to your energy, and you can pick up residue from me if I had a bad attitude and take it on with you. So I actually utilize my crystals, Reiki energy, meditation to create, an energetic force field, so to speak, but I strengthen my aura so it kind of repels people that are on that frequency that want to come in and manipulate it. But if I do have to interact with someone in that way who is holding a negative vibration, I change that. I impact them with my energy instead of me allowing them to take me down. I raise them up with my frequency and my energy. I just change the direction of it.
And sometimes those people that have the negative energy, they're kind of, no pun intended, but they're kind of hell bent to make sure that you go negative too. I remember I used to work at this call center in Santa Monica, and the receptionist was, I don't know why they chose this lady to be a receptionist, because she's going to be the first person you meet when you walk through the door, and she was always negative. So one day I just wanted to challenge her. And I walked up to her, and remember, this is Santa Monica, California. It's 77 degrees. It's sunny, blue sky every day. So I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, it's a beautiful day out there."
Yes.
And I swear to God, she goes, "Yeah, I guess if you like sun." And it was like she was just determined, no matter what I would have ever said to her on any day, she would find a negative thing to come back and spin it and flip it. And I realized after a while that she was just one of those people that no matter what, you're not going to get along with those people.
Right.
So in your life experience, so you have started this business,
Yes.
which is probably hard to start any business, but
Absolutely.
even harder when you're a woman,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Because is this another yet male dominated field, the Reiki business? We can't even have the damn Reiki business.
We are not allowing the patriarchal system to seep into our energy healing.
come
No, we are
on.
not.
We can't even have that.
No, actually, it's not. It's an industry that is dominated by feminine energy, and the men that are in there are very well balanced between their masculine and feminine. So we're all on one accord, usually, because we're all on the same page of vibrating higher and ascending, to our next level of consciousness.
But now let me ask you this, okay? Let me just stop you right there for a second, because I get what you're cooking, but I'm not eating it, okay? So so the thing is, guys,
Yes.
and I know because I'm a guy, and I've been, part of a guy society most of my life.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys don't like their girlfriends doing stuff that's like this, because this is too much like, you're going to meet a lot of people, and people are going to like what you're saying, and they're going to like say stuff about you like you're great and thank you for changing my life and all that kind of stuff. And eventually a very insecure guy is going to get too much of that.
Yes.
You seem like you're already familiar.
I am familiar with that.
So how do you work with that? Because that's a real thing.
It's actually hard dating in this industry. I notice that it's more women that are waking up and aligning to their feminine energy or connecting to nature, basically, because nature is feminine energy. So the men that I've dealt with, because I'm a spiritual advisor and I'm a psychic, so you can't lie to me, okay? You're not going to be
Right.
able to deceive me. And I know people don't really feel safe with that because they feel like you're maybe intruding in, on their energy or their thoughts or whatever is going on, which I literally don't do, because that's a violation of people's privacy. I believe that you should be able to remain in your own space and have your own thoughts. I would never do anything like that. But they do tend to feel a little bit threatened that you have that you're connected with your intuition to higher sources and higher powers, and it makes them a bit uncomfortable, and they feel like they kind of have to stand up to this type of lifestyle or all of a sudden become it. But that's like not even what it's supposed to be. Actually, this is a lifestyle of freedom, that you are able to operate in your own, your own journey, your own thoughts, your own thinking, and be yourself completely. Like, there's no walls. Like, we break through the walls, we don't have any boundaries. You step outside of the box. So this is the most freeing space that you can be in, because it's literally you manifesting your own world and living outside of the matrix and creating your own. And I find that a lot of men really they're not comfortable with that just yet. They're not comfortable with their freedom, and they're not comfortable with their woman flowing in her divine feminine energy that may activate some other men.
Yeah, and let's be
way.
honest. This has been a tough generation for men. Let's call it what it is.
Yes.
Because in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even maybe still a bit in the 2000s, men were living in a completely different world where you could just go get me a cup of coffee, baby.
Right.
And it was not only was it okay, it was actually considered the way a man should be. Like,
Absolutely.
you're a real man. If you ever watch an episode of Mad Men, you'll see these real men from the 60s who smoked their cigarette in the office, and they had a bottle of gin in the desk ready, and for whatever reason. So you're saying that men, they kind of have an issue with that, and I can totally see that. So my question is what do you do to circumvent that? Because you're not an island. You got to interact with other people, and some of them got to be men. So what do you do when you see that energy coming your way? Like, what is your go-to step around, like, get around that? Because it's that energy again.
Right. I actually just don't deal with it. Once you start to vibrate on a frequency and you put that out there, like, it's actually pushed out into the world, those people actually are repelled. So they don't, so they don't really even come, but if they do kind of get past, that energy, like again, I just bring them up to my level, and I communicate with them. I educate them. So I don't push them away. I don't talk down to them, but I educate them. And usually, honestly, I find that a lot of them submit to the energy once they've been, educated on what's happening and what the real paradigm is. They actually submit to it, and they become very intrigued. But if there are some, overly masculine men that, that just want to, like, rule over a woman, I just correct them and I move on. I don't deal with that. We're not going to be dealing with that right now. No.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to go about it. Do you think that you've been, and this is a rhetorical question, but do you think that you've been more successful, less successful, just as successful in this industry being a woman as you would have? And the only reason I mention it, don't get me wrong, like, I don't have a woman thing, like an agenda of women this, women that.
Right.
But on my show, I interview a lot of women, and a lot of women will come to the show with this coined term called.
Right.
And I always say, well, shit, man, y'all can make babies. What more power do you need? Like, how much empowerment do you need? And you never hear anybody talk about male empowerment. Just women get empowered. So then it makes me think, okay, so you as a woman, you're going through your career and you're going through your life with this ominous being called a male, and that male is always trying to mess up your program, always trying to get in your mix. No, you can't abort a baby. No, you can't vote. No, you can't have a job that pays you the same amount as me, even if you're doing the more work than me. You'll always be a nurse, never a doctor. I'll be a doctor. All this stuff is male generated.
Right.
How do you deal with that as a female? I'll never know, because I'm never going to be a female.
Right. I actually don't exist in that paradigm. Like, I really truly don't, because there's that world, which what we call the 3D world, and then where I am, which is, we consider that to be 5D, and this is an Ankh. This represents, it's an Ankh. This represents mother, father, child, Ankh.
Like an uncle?
No.
No? Okay.
Well,
I don't know.
No, but it's the comedic representation of a cross, the biblical cross. The cross is just, what is that? Father, son, spirit, or whatever, but this represents the man, woman, and child, the overall,
and that's really cool.
of everything.
Can you
yes.
Yeah, that is
And that's
really
another
cool.
citrine there because it's from Africa as well. So I want to make sure that I embody that energy. But we don't have that type of issue within our type of community where we go because it's respected. Because my belief is that the feminine energy, was the first energy here in this realm. And again, we tap into nature and we work with nature, healing and herbs and things like that, which is all feminine energy. So the men that come into this industry or this world that we are in, they have also had an awakening, and now they've merged their masculine and their feminine energy, so they're in tune with the flow. So they're not coming, with that misogynistic attitude. So there's really no battle there, and I don't tap into the regular role, like with politics and things like that. Like, I mean, they can say that they've taken away our right to, abort or women's rights or whatever it is, but I believe that I manifest my own reality. So therefore, I'm going to do what it is that I want to do anyway, and they don't bother me. Like, I don't even let the police into my energy. I don't, whatever you think about and whatever you focus on will manifest in your life. So I don't manifest oppression and negative energy in my life. I keep it on a high vibration, and that's what I attract, just simple. And the rest of them, they go away. I don't even pay it any attention.
Now, on your website, you're listed as a Reiki master.
Yes.
And whenever I've seen Reiki mentioned, it's always in the term of a master. I've never seen anybody called a Reiki, part-timer. Reiki, Reiki's shift supervisor. No, you're always a Reiki master.
Right.
Right? So I don't really know what that is, but I presume that means that you've risen to a certain level of education that exceeds the standard Reiki knowledge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. So there's levels to it. There's different degrees, first, second, and third degree, and then you have master. And it's just really just being attuned to a particular energy, and you can actually go and attune other people. So if you wanted to be a Reiki healer as well, I could attune your body and your chakras to that energy and align you with what's happening out there. Absolutely.
That's interesting. So I'm going to ask you a question that sounds like just one of those questions, but I mean, give it a thought. Does the world need Reiki masters?
Yes.
Okay, and so,
Yes.
so how and why?
Because the energy here, I'm in the belief that we're living in it's flipped. It's not as it was created to be. There was a lot of negative energy that has come here and that has taken us away from our natural way of creation and how we're supposed to be. So Reiki masters come in and realign that energy and help people to become centered within themselves. So therefore you have a centered whole being, and that manifests out into the community. So it's like when they're vibrating high, they're healing and they have their chakras and their energy in alignment, and it's growing and it's elevating. It's going to rub off on the next person, and then the next person, and then the next person, and the next person. And now it changes everything. Now it's changing the world because we're spreading light.
And how big can it get? Like, do you look at a situation like Vladimir Putin and you say, he just needs his chakra lines, he'd be all right? Like, what I'm saying? Like, how big can it go? How deep does it get?
Actually, again, without going too far into it, they know what's going on. These people know exactly what's going on, but I also believe that people's destiny is their destiny. So just like you have, the light or whatever, you have the dark. So you have to have some sort of, I don't want to say oppression, but you have to have like opposition, to push you into a higher vibration. So I believe that he's necessary here in this world, even though it's bad, it's horrible what it is that he's doing. But I don't believe that everything can be perfect here on this planet, because what's going to trigger you to do something great? How would you know that, that you need to grow here if everything is just perfect and at this level? So I do believe that, his journey is just as important as anyone else's. Now how deep it goes, it definitely needs to be a cutoff. He definitely needs to be cutting it out. However, I do believe that everyone's journey is purposeful, and he was put here for a purpose as well, just like I was, so, or just like I am and everyone else. So, it's just life, and it's just where we're existing here on this planet.